Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a quick video on a player that I only learned about recently and only learned about because of my focus here in 2024 on getting better representation of the Negro Leagues and former Negro League players in my baseball card collection. So this is going to be the story of Dave Pope. And I have his first card here that we're going to take a look at as I give you some background info. This is his 1955 Bowman rookie card. But what's interesting to me, Dave is one of the somewhere around, I think, 80 or 90 players who played a game in the Negro Leagues, at least a game, and also played in Major League Baseball. I've heard a lot of other folks, and I've kind of adopted the term as well, refer to them as bridge players. And I think Dave is one of the more interesting bridge players just because his career in the Negro Leagues was so brief. So he was born back in the early 1920s to a family of 15 children. And just like Hank Aaron and others have told in the past, he grew up learning to play baseball, hitting bottle caps with broomsticks. In high school, he was a baseball and basketball star, two-sport star, and he went on to play baseball at the University of Pittsburgh as well. Then he joined the Army during World War II in 1946. He was only in the Army for a year before he was discharged, and he joined the Homestead Grays, who in the 1940s were the best team, it's generally agreed, in the Negro Leagues, and one of the best teams in all of baseball, in any league, including Major League Baseball. But what's really interesting, he played just a single inning for the Homestead Grays as like an outfield defensive replacement, and he never got an at-bat. So his proper, Negro League proper career consisted of just one inning. Got to be one of the shortest Negro League careers on record. He went on to play in, I think it was called the United States League after that, which was like a minor league to the Negro Leagues, created by, I think, Branch Rickey and I can't remember who else participated in that. Gus Greenlee, I want to say. So he was in that league for a couple of years. Then he played actually up in Canada in the late 1940s. And then finally, in 1950, he was signed by the Cleveland Indians. And he didn't debut with them right away. He toiled in the minor league system for Cleveland for a couple of years, and he finally made his major league debut in 1952. He played 12 games with the Indians. He didn't get any cards at this point. Obviously, prospects didn't get cards at the rate they do today back in the early 50s, and 12 games in 52 is not enough to get him a card. In 1953, he was back down in AAA for the season. But then in 1954, he really kind of got his break. He played in 60 games with the Indians. Although he was not an everyday player, he was a great pinch hitter, a very effective pinch hitter, and also played quite a bit in the outfield as well. And then finally, in 1955, he played his first really full season. He played 35 games with the Indians, and he got his rookie card in 1955 Bowman. And then midway through the season, he was actually traded to the Baltimore Orioles. So let's put this rookie card up in the background. And so halfway through that 55 season, he was dealt to Baltimore. And he actually played more games with Baltimore in 1955 than he did with Cleveland. He played 35 with Cleveland and 86 with Baltimore. So really got a full season in there, or close to it. And then in 1956, he got a Topps card, his very first Topps card with the Baltimore Orioles. And what a great card this is. I love the stoic portrait, and that action shot is killer. Just an awesome, awesome action shot there. Really dig this card. These are all recent pickups. I kind of built an instant Dave Pope collection after learning his story. So I've grabbed all of these in the last month or so. They are dirt cheap. Nobody really knows much or seems to care much about Dave Pope, which I understand. His major league career was pretty brief. He played after that 55 season. He began the 56 season, which we get here, with the Baltimore Orioles, but he didn't last all year with Baltimore. He ended up getting traded back to Cleveland to finish out the 1956 season. So I don't know what the backstory is there or why the Orioles decided to move on from him relatively quickly, but he ended up back with the Cleveland Indians to finish out 1956. And he played what would be his final major league game on September 30th, 1956 with the Cleveland Indians. But he did get a card, one last Indians card in the 1957 top set. So this is his final Major League Baseball card released from 57 Topps. Another interesting portrait shot here. And in this case, as we can see, he's clearly back with the Cleveland Indians, the team that he started his Major League journey with. So as such, these are his complete career Major League Baseball statistics on the back of this card. In 1957, he ended up switching over to the Pacific Coast League after not making the Indians team to start the season. And then he kind of finished out his career between 1957 and 1961 in AAA ball, Pacific Coast League, AAA, those type of things. And 1961 was his last season in organized professional baseball. So there's his final card, and these three represent the only three baseball cards that exist, to my knowledge, of Dave Pope. And I just think he's an interesting individual. He's obviously not a household name. I had never heard of him myself, again, until I got on this collecting focus. And, his Major League career lasted all of 4 seasons, and a couple of those were pretty brief as well. And his Negro League career was even shorter, really at just 1 inning in defensive play for the Homestead Grays. So to me, he's one of the more interesting bridge players just for that reason. And I think he's a fascinating name that you don't really hear anything about in baseball past. So just one of those many commons that you could easily breeze through in your binder or graded card box. But when you get to know his story a little bit deeper, it's kind of cool to think about. I mean, this guy was on a team with Josh Gibson and Buck Leonard, but he also played in the World Series in 1954 with the Indians against, and played against Willie Mays and all of these great baseball names of the past. So Dave passed away many years ago, back I think it was 1999, so he's no longer with us. But the more I learned about him, the more I decided I wanted to kind of pay tribute to this lesser known figure in baseball history, and was able to instantly create this 3-card Dave Pope collection. Probably the only Dave Pope graded card collector that exists out there. Who knows, I guess. But certainly a team collector wouldn't have this trio, since he played for 2 different franchises here. But I just thought it was a nice tribute to the man. And I plan on doing a series of these types of videos here on the channel as time allows, where I cover some of these lesser known guys that bridged those 2 leagues. And I thought Dave was a great one to start with. All 3 of these cards, including his rookie and his 6.5, cost less than $25 a piece. So for really cheap coin, I thought this 3-card collection was a cool way to pay tribute to his career. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a little bit something about Dave Pope. And as you know, I'll be back soon with more of these types of videos and other content here on the channel. Until then, I hope you're all enjoying the hobby. Take care.